Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Night Live. Oh, I got that wrong. Start again. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Night Live, here live from a very warm craft cave. I hope you've had a fantastic week and a lovely day today. And I hope the weather's not been too hot for you. It's very warm here. We've even had hot rain most of the day. Which sounds like the weirdest thing ever. But it's been sort of raining on and off, but the rain's been warm. It's been very, very strange. So good evening to Saturday Night Live. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're all, as I say, keeping very, very cool. So just checking everything's working. Yeah, we're okay. We're live on Facebook. And yes, hello, we're live on YouTube. So thank you if you're watching me on YouTube. Just remember, if you want to join in the conversation, if you've any questions you want to ask or anything, then you need to pop over to Facebook, as I can only really answer questions or see the comments on Facebook because I can't split between the two, unfortunately. So what are we on about? What's Saturday Night Live? Saturday Night Live is a chance for us here at The Art of Craft, along in collaboration with Crafts 2 and John Next Door and everything else, to come together and give you some amazing, what we call limited time deals. So everything that we've got is at least half price or less. And as you know, Jane's prices are ridiculously cheap, to be honest, to start with. So the Art of Craft prices are never at RRP anyway. So it's half of our price, which is crazy. And we've got 4 bundles tonight and lots of individuals. Oh, that's lovely, Despina. Hello, you lovely man. Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you. So we've got 4 bundles tonight and lots of really beautiful individual dies. In fact, I've had the joy of playing with 16 dies for the last 4 days to give you some samples and give you some choice. In fact, there were so many samples I couldn't put them all out on the Facebook post because there were so many there. So there's a choice really for everyone tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the website so that you can actually see all of the different offers all in one place. So if we click over to the website, you can see here, this is the Facebook Live for tonight. And this will actually list you everything on offer for us tonight. Remember, always wait for the prices to drop. If you buy them before the prices drop, that's the price you've bought them at. So always wait for the prices to drop. So 4 main bundles, which I'm going to run through. These are amazingly beautiful. They really are. Then we've got some absolutely gorgeous individuals from things like this border choice or the border fence here at £2.60 through to, that's one of the bundles. There's some of the men's stuff. Whoa. Some of these out of stocks already. I know I'd got a list of saying there were 7. That's when I checked at lunchtime. There are even more out of stocks on these. But I'm not surprised. £2.90, £4.35. Ridiculous. That is a beautiful die. I'll be to play with that. Bambi is there. There's the Christmas trees. Oh gosh. 4 of those frames. The frames are lovely. Have gone out of stock already. Surprised the hummingbird hasn't actually. Oh, even more of them have gone. Yep, so all of those frame dies. So there's so many on this, but unfortunately, as you can see, a lot have already gone out of stock. And that's because these prices are absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to take you through the individual bundles. I'm going to start with I wouldn't say my favourite because I've loved all of these. I really have. But I'm going to start with the thing you want, which are the shape dies. And these are 3 absolutely gorgeous animals. And they've been done really well. So what I mean is that makes a gorgeous owl. I'm going to show you a sample in a second. That makes a brilliant giraffe. And I'm going to demo that one. And that, would you believe it, makes the most cute, different elephant. And because they're individual pieces, you can make them so differently. So these are just £15. And that is for all 3 sets, which is absolutely crazy if you ask me. But look how cute they are when they're actually made up. I actually ignored the packaging a bit there. That's why I'm going to show you this one. But look, they're like toys. These are so cute. They're so much better than any animals I've seen before. Then we've got the owl, and I've used one of those backgrounds from the shape set that I'm going to move on to. That ivy is stunning. But look how cute that owl is. I want to give him a big smile because to me, Penny says he looks angry. I think he looks really smiley. But they're so easy to do, these. They really are. And then that's the heffalump. How cute is he? He's kind of dancing. He really is. He's kind of sort of dancing away or dancing around. So those are the 3 animal dies. And I am going to show you how to do a couple of those. But there is the Bambi available individually as well. So if you wanted to get hold of any of them individually, you can find them individually on the website, like I said. So have a look where the link is and you can see some of them individually. But there's also that Bambi on there, and that Bambi is so cute. So let's see, what's the next bundle I'm going to move to? So that is this Swirl one. This is a really good one. And I love this one. This is where it's got that. I've got to show it you first. It's got that ivy. That ivy that I used on the backing of that. And I think this is probably nicer than any I've used before. It's called Swirls and Leaves, but to me, it really is an ivy print. But it could be used for absolutely anything. So you've got, and I put that die down now and I don't know where. I'm terrible. So you get the ivy. You get the beautiful swirl. This is so nice. This is really, really nice, this one. Oh, unfortunately, our Emma's missed out on the baby. Oh, I'm so sorry, Emma. But it is what happens. So that's why I'm saying get in there quickly. Then you've got this border. Now, I used this on the elephant card. Look, how cute is that? How cute is that border? It's just so sweet. And then you've got this one. And this is like a bird on a wire, but not like I've ever seen before. Karen, I know a few people who look like the elephant after a few drinks. Actually, Karen, I thought that. So I'm going to demo how to do it in pink so you can have pink elephants, which is apparently what people see when they drink. Not being much of a drinker, I can't say I've honestly seen them. But that one is just gorgeous. To show you some samples of this one. And I've spent like 4 days on these because I've loved it so much. But look, that just wants a sentiment. I think that's just so clever. It's just a beautiful, I mean, you look at the detail. I've never seen a bird on a line, because so many companies have done birds on lines. I've never seen one that is literally that clever before. This is the that swirl. Now, this is actually using the die cut twice into card, and then it's literally just dropped onto another colour. It's so clever. I used the waste from that to make this, and that just wants the centre from the new one. So, John, what are the sentiment stamps? All the sentiment stamps I've been using are from that Happy Birthday set from Memory Box. I think it's still on the Memory Box. It's from the Happy Birthday set from Memory Box. They're just, I really love the font they've used. It's got a die with it as well. So, those are the swirls. So that's our swirl bundle. Then we've got our men's bundle. Now, I've called it men's. I don't know what anyone else, I don't know what they've officially called it. Oh, the elephant would be lovely for a new baby card. It would, Sarah. It really would, Sarah Jane. I think that really would. This, I loved. So you're going to get the suitcase with the straps and everything. Wait till you see the sample of this. It is beautiful. The sailing ship. Again, I know we say men's cards. They've even included you like the little birds, if you want to put the birds in. Then you've got 2 frame dies in here. So that doesn't look as if you get a lot, but look. That's your frame, and then there's all your tools individually. So that's literally all your tools in. I think that's so clever. And then a brilliant cogs one in small slip. And again, a separate die that cuts all together. 6 separate cogs on it. These, to me, are just out of this world. Well, you can probably tell, because I don't make a lot of men's cards normally. But what I've actually done, I found I'd actually made more of these than I've made of anything else. And I find that really, really strange because that's not me at all. But look, that's that frame. Now you can see the screen that I'm looking at and the computer, look there. You can see the other camera and the whole one there. But I thought that just works so well piling them together. But I also I just cut the cogs and just hand drew some little lines down, stuck the cogs on, put a sentiment on, and then just added a few gems. But what a simple card, but it works really well. Then we've got the tools frame. This I loved. So here I've made a little tool window into a little tool shop. So those tools individually are hanging up. All I've done is colour the handles with Sharpie. And then made a little double frame and set it off with a little bit of an acetate window, as if you're looking into a shed or something. Or here, just tucking that little frame there, hanging those tools up, just cut in silver. Literally just cut in mirror card. And then a big sentiment, again, from that memory box set. But again, just on a bit of embossed card, so it looks like a pegboard. So easy to do, and don't overthink it. Then I went on and did the sailing ship. So I did the sailing ship. And I used one of our old 2J stamps. And I literally added just a little bit of ink, just with a finger dauber on. That's it. There's a little bit of grey on the top, a little bit of brown, and then just a little bit of brown on the ship, and that's it, stuck on. But then I thought, well, I'll go to town. So I made one with my torn strips. And that, I thought, was so classy. But I can make that look like that, or like that. So that's using the torn strips to try and make the sea. And then we put like a little picture on, as if it's a picture hanging on someone. Karen says, the cog dies would look great with your clocks. Oh, they would. That would work really, really well with my clock. Or clocks, because I've done quite a few clocks. I was going to do a new clock for Christmas, and I was told, no, don't. You've done enough clocks. Come on. And then finally, the suitcase. This one was my favourite. Because I thought, oh, how do you make that up to look realistic? It's so easy. I'm going to show you that. But look at that. Again, using some older 2J's travel stamps on the side. But then the suitcases look 3D. They're completely flat. So if there's anything you want tonight, I will show you, because Despina's just had How Do We Order. So what you do is, I'm just going to pop a link on. So we pop a link on. So if you click that link, then it would take you to this page here. So you click the link and it will take you to this page here at the Art of Craft. So let's go back through. So let's pretend I've gone straight onto it. Oh, we're going to run slow tonight. I'm not surprised with the heat. So if you can't find it, onto Facebook Live, today's date, and there you are. So let's say you want the men's bundle. You simply click that bundle. It gives you the price there, $18.50, which is ridiculous. Normally, you'd be paying $12.99 minimum for each of those, for any sort of frame like that. So you're talking, there's 24, you're talking $12.99, you're probably talking £26 just in those. But it should be $36.42, it's $18.50. If you just want one, you have one, click add to basket, and then you would just go to the checkout and check out as normal. And remember, if your purchase is over £20, so always throw something extra in, then it will actually be free P&P in the UK. So it's free postage and packaging in the UK if you spend over £20. But we've got one more bundle for you as well tonight. This is 4 bundles. This is our last one, and this is those frames that everybody has sort of gone already on the individuals. People have picked them out to the point where we've got very few left. So in the bundle you're going to get, love that, look at the dragonfly. How beautiful is that? I'm going to demo with that one. Absolutely love that one. They're like silhouette frames. They're so cute. Then you've got the toadstool. I've got a sample made by Jane of this one for you. So this is called Snails. Why it's not called toadstool, I don't know, because I don't actually see any snails. But they've called it Snails. I don't know why. Yeah. Then you've got the crocuses. This is sold out as an individual. Yeah. Then, oh, that's very kind. Nicola says the samples sold her. They're beautiful, Nicola. They really are. And they're all dies that fit a niche that we don't normally have, I think. That's what's been so good about these limited time offers we've been doing. Then there's butterfly. So only a few. So we've got butterfly. And that's just doing paper piecing with a background made with our gold fusion inks. But again, again, that memory, one of those memory box sentiments. Absolutely love that. And then here's crocuses. How gorgeous do they look just cut in black? And again, against a different colour background, set with some acetate. So you're seeing me holding it, holding it, holding it. But here's one of our Janes. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Where she's just coloured it. Oh, there's the snail. Now I see him. So she's just coloured him individual. I thought the beasties would, oh, they would look great on these. So there are lots and lots of individuals. That's that kingfisher that's only available as an individual. Yeah. The tulips are on there. And then there's these, they're beautiful. These are all by Jane, these samples. Look at the owls. Aren't they cute? And another one of those beautiful frames mixed in with my Victoria corners. Absolutely gorgeous. So you have got tonight 4 different bundle options. So you've got the frames, which are £20.35. So this will be free P&P without adding anything else into your basket. Then you've got what I would call the men's collection, those 2 beautiful frames at £18.50. So basically throw glue glaze in and the glue glaze will be free because it's £3.49 for postage and packaging anyway. So you throw that into that and you'll get it for the same price as paying postage. It's crazy. Then we've got £15 those 3 animals, and I'm going to do those. I'm going to demo those first. Yeah, and then finally, we've got those beautiful swirls at just £12.95. Absolutely amazing value. But what I thought I'll do is I'm going to move you on to the overhead, and I want to show you how we actually do one of these beautiful animals. So I'm going to do, first of all, the heffalump, as I used to call it, or elephant. So this comes to you in the pieces, and it's really simple. What you could actually do is you could, because look here, I've got one. I got one I made up. He's so cute. What you could actually do is cut all the pieces in one colour and then cut all the pieces in another colour. That would work really, really well. But what you can do is separate them out. So effectively, this little piece and this little piece are the ears. Now this little piece here, I used on this one, can you see, to give him his little pink feet. However, on my main sample, I tried one and thought, I don't think it's worth it. So I haven't used the feet on mine because I think that's a little bit too small to stick them down. So that's your feet. So you would need to cut those 2 in your, those 3 dies in your opposing colour, and then everything else apart from that little one there in your main colour. Yeah. So, oh bless her, Karen says crafts 2 are not my bank manager's best friend. Sorry, Karen. Let's you know, always say you don't need everything, but there's certainly a lot of these dies that I needed, which sounds awful to say, but there really are so many that I actually needed. And don't forget that we will be at Bolton tomorrow. So if anyone's coming, I know Susan's coming, but none of these are planned to be available. The van is already left and they've set up, so none of these will be at Bolton. These are only available on there. And I think we have a very limited quantity of the new release dies. We held some back for Bolton, so if you did miss out on the beautiful dies that we missed, that I launched on Sunday, you will be able to get hold of them if you're quick at Bolton. So I want to show you how to put this together, and it is really, really easy. So I'm going to take your body, and this is usual for me, but how we give them that 3D look. VersaFine in smoky grey. Take my finger dauber off onto my mat and then just hold it in the air. I can pick it up and flick around. nice and simple, just like that. And it just gives it a little bit of 3D. Now what I do is go back in and just add a little bit more on the top. And I've shown this recently quite a bit, but it just gives it far more body. Then we want to add the legs. Now if you look on the packaging, it actually shows you a couple of different elephants. They're all done with the same dies because every piece is individual. So you get to decide where you want to do it. So I'm just going to take one of these legs and again do the same. And I'm just going to flick around. Bless. Oh, Susan's just asked, what kind of cake do you like? I like any cake. I just like cake. I'm a sponge cake and buttercream person. I could literally sit with a spoon and eat an entire tub of buttercream, to be fair. So I'm just going to colour those legs, yeah? And then a little bit of glue glaze. This is why I say add a glue glaze. If you want to hit that £20, so if you want to hit that £20 free P&P, add a glue glaze in because it's always worth having one. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to put them in a different... I put them in a different place every time. A little bit of glue onto the leg and pop it where you want. So I'm going to have that leg kicking out. So I'm going to have that leg there. So we've got the legs in pairs. So you can put them anywhere. I'm sure there's other animals you could actually build with this. I reckon there probably are, you know, to be honest. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop that one on. I think a little bit more there. Move it round till you're happy. Okay. Then I've done exactly the same with the head. And what you want to do is, so I've done the same with the head. I'm just going to do one of the ears. So I'm going to take the ear, again, a little bit of grey, flick it around. I just thought pink elephant, is it Pink Elephants and Lemonade? Or is that a line from a Madonna song? I think that might be a line from a Madonna song. And you'll notice there's a really easy way to spot the bit that goes with it, light grey, just the same. And then again, you can see it fits. So it gives that inner bit of the ear. So all I want to do is add, again, a little bit of glue glaze onto there. Then we'll just pick up our ear inside and drop him in. I've got the one made for the other side. And what I try to do is put the ears, and the head can go anywhere. Anywhere you want him to go. I'm going to give him a more rounded head this time. So again, a little bit of glue glaze on the edges of your ears. Yeah. What's our Karen saying? You're saying, my imagination's out there. Sorry, everyone. I missed what you said before, Karen. So there we go. But look, I can see the little elephant now. So then I can just put him on to the body I've made. So again, a little bit of glue glaze. Pick up my heffalump. Face. Oh, yeah, I think I might have him looking, going towards the side. Yeah, we've got a little tail, which again, I've just put a little bit of grey on. So just flick a little bit of glue onto the back of there. And add our tail on. So it's not complicated at all. And the final bit is the trunk. And the trunk can make such a difference. But look, they've even put little, I don't know if you can see, let me go forward on so you can see it. Excuse me, it's very hot in here, so excuse me. You see, you've got little cut marks. So clever. So they actually give that, they make the trunk look like it's wrinkled, like it's supposed to be. Ooh, our Samantha says it looks like a bat. It could be a bat, couldn't it? So, a little bit of glue glaze on. We'll take our trunk. And I'm going to have him trumpeting that way. So you can see that, there's our elephant. Now, one of the things they've done is they've given you a die for the eyes. So they've given you a die that makes the eyes. I'm going to just try to pull my pen out, which is this little one here. Now, to me, the idea of cutting those out and trying to stick little black dots on was pointless. Oh, it's our Karen said the first die cut on the elephant looks like someone's bum, John. Yes, I quite like that, actually. what I found is I've just got my 0.3 micron pen from Craft Artist, and it shows me on the packaging that the eyes are just above the trunk. So all I've done on all of them is just drawn my own eyes on. They don't have to be even. I've just drawn two little, but look, how cute is he? I've got to show you, but look, how cute is he? And again, I could say, right, well, I think, oh, that is a bit high. I can move them about. I can sort of pull that off or pull it down and go, oh, that's a bit better, or whatever, to give me the perfect heffalump. So really simple to do. And I thought, well, what would you do? Because you're going to think, well, how do I make that into a card? So I've got a little grey elephant and I've got a little pink elephant. So I've just taken here a little bit. This is an old card blank I'm using. So I've got here just a little bit, 5x5 square of white card. Yeah. And I'm just going to take some glue gel and a cocktail stick. And I'm just going to add the elephants on. So a little bit on his head, little bit on his body. And I've just gone with putting Happy Birthday on. And thought, let's just put a couple of elephants on. Don't try and go crazy with a background when you've got something that's so cute like this. I always find it's daft to go crazy trying to make a really matching background. Yes, Susan says she hopes that Bolton's got air conditioning tomorrow. So do I. So I thought I'd go with flying elephants. Nice and simple. And then if it's a birthday, if you're doing a kid's birthday or something, you can put the number there. You can put 5 or 6 or 3 or whatever. I mean, I know for a fact this die is staying because this die is going to be made in, because Sam loves elephants. So this die will be used to make Sammy's next birthday card. So I'll put that in. There you go. Simple, easy. Couple of flying elephants. Again, you can decorate it with some pearls around it or something, but look, how easy is that? Yeah, it literally is. I mean, I normally say 3s, but I think 2's enough, you know, and you can have some fun with that, Karen. So you could put some little elephant droppings down there if you want to, or put some little dots around, put some little airlines as if they actually are flying. But a really cute card made with just one of these die sets. And these animal dies, let me find them, are just £15 for all 3. So you're going to get all 3 of those for just £15. But I thought I should move on, and I'm going to show you how to do something with those beautiful frames, because I know everyone's gone mad about getting hold of those frames. So let's have a look. So I was going to use... I thought this is such a nice die. Question, if you turn the die cuts, can you have them facing each other? What you can actually do, Karen, this is something I found. Let me just bring this back in a second. Look, all you do is, there's one I've started to make. Yeah? What you do is, you put the tail on that side, and you put the head on that side. So you can make them face left or right, front or, you know, because you've got the pieces, you can actually make them any way you want to. So that way, look, we'd have them facing. You can make a whole herd of elephants completely different. Oh, I love that idea. Sarah Jane says, for a child's birthday, you could have them holding balloons in their trunks, or even a number balloon. That is a lovely idea. That really is, Sarah Jane. Very, very clever. So, what I'm going to do is I pulled out my pile. I've got them hidden under here. Of the actual backgrounds that I've made and all the pieces and things like that I've done strangely. But I thought, this looks so nice. And one of the ways to use a frame like this is to do the drop technique. So, what I'm going to do is... And I always do this the same way. So I always do this the same way into a square. So I'm not. I did something similar a couple of weeks ago. So what I'm going to do is a 6x4. Now if you're doing 6x4, take your A4 card, cut it to 6, and then cut 1 to 4 inches and the other one to 4 inches. And the reason for that is you're still left with a decent piece left. If you do it in 4-inch strip with a 6-inch bit off it, you don't get as much out of the card. That's why I wanted to show you cutting that. Yeah. So, and I've always done it, you know, oh, it's got to be. So we want to think of this like a picture frame. So you're going to pop it just there as if it's at the top. So you're leaving an even border around the top, because if you think about it, in an art gallery, the art isn't hanging in the halfway down the wall. It's always in that top 2/3, because that's what our eye likes. So these cut absolutely like a dream. So we're just going to put it down, grab our Kaleido and run that through. Nice and simple. And don't forget, you're going to get 4 of these. So you're going to get all 4, the crocuses, this one, which is the dragonfly, the butterfly, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the other one. Oh, I think the mushroom one, the snail one they've called it. All 4 of those for just £20.35. So remember, this is going to be free P&P because it's over £20. So there is our perfect window. Yeah. And what I would normally do is I would normally get a piece of acetate and put that on. And sometimes you might not want acetate, so I wanted to show you a different way to do it. So I've actually cut out already here in black. Look how beautiful that die cut is. I mean, that looks like one of the best ever stamped. Yeah, so that's got to be one that looks like one of the best ever sort of stamped images you could ever do. So think about all the inky techniques. You can do that later. Our Nicola's got to go, bless her, because she's going to get shouted at. So what I'm going to do is I've just dropped it loosely in. I'm going to turn it on its back now and make sure, just to show you, sorry, they do cut out really simply in one full piece because they have got a non-stick coating on it. That's what the colours are. The colours are non-stick coating. So silver dyes are Teflon, but the actual coloured ones, so look. So there's a piece, but how beautiful is that just on its own? I mean, again, take a different colour piece of card. Gorgeous card, straight off. I mean, as our Samantha says, it's just stunning on its own. But obviously this time I don't want to drop any acetate in. I want to leave it open. So this is where I bring in my sticky tape. So I'm just going to take a little bit of sticky tape and I'm just going to tape the piece into place. So I'm making sure, and this is cheap Poundland stuff, that it overlaps onto the white card and onto the black. So just tape it on, nice and simple. I have had to open the door, so you'll have to excuse the noise. You're going to get the kids playing next door. And you're going to get the little bit of road noise, I'm afraid, but it is getting very warm. But you can see there, that is now hanging. So all I need to do is cut that off. And all I did was avoid, I put nothing there where the sticky tape would show through that. Yeah, really simple. But that now is in place and fixed. So we can then go through our pieces and go, oh, I like that, but oh, that's a bit too dark. Or, oh, I think that, yeah. I got this piece I did on the low sheen card. And I just thought that is beautiful. So this is just using the sprays on the low sheen card just to give us a really nice sort of sheen. And I'm just going to turn this over again, and I want that difference. So I am going to add some foam tape. But remember, there's no acetate in here, so I don't have to mess about worrying about anything. So make sure when you're putting your foam tape on, you're making sure that none of it shows on the front. So go to the outside edge as much as you possibly can. There we go, just like that. And I need a bit to support at the bottom, but I also want to make sure I support it there as well. And then I'm just going to take off our protective sheet, just like this. and then find a place. Oh, I like that. It would be the first place I put over it. It's not normally the first place I put down. And then just undercut. So I'm just going to trim that out and take the excess away. And you've got a really beautiful, and because I've not put acetate in this one, because I've used a slightly different trick of using the sellotape, it goes all the way through, but I don't lose any of the sheen from that background. And I want to show you how we'd mat this, because this is one of the reasons I chose that sizing. And so this was 4x6. So remember I said cut the piece of 4" of white card to 4 inches. If you go to 6 1/8 on your black and go to 4 1/8, it will give you 2 identically sized pieces. So you still get a piece left over to use, which is decent size, but it will give you that perfect 1/8 of an inch background all the way around. So all I want to do with this is add a little bit of wet glue onto it, like that. This is how quick we can make something. Straight onto our mat, which brings our black together. There's your space to add your sentiment at a later date if you want to. So if you want to, you can add your sentiment on now, or you can add it on later using your precision press. And I'm going to make this quite small, so I'm just getting a card blank, cutting it to 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, because I want that image to be the most important thing. So just going to put some wet glue on there. We go. And then that goes on like that. So we keep it nice and simple, but that's how easy it is. Because you see, it looks like dragonfly, it looks like the water and the reflection and everything, but it's basically just using one of those frame dies. So nice and simple. So this is one of those bundle. So the bundle is £20.35. And is available. And remember, this will be free P&P. But as I said, if you want to, you can actually click onto the website and look at the individuals. So let's just move over and I'm going to show you that. So if you click any of the links, or you click straight onto the Art of Craft, it will take, and click onto Facebook, it will take you to tonight's live. So there's our bundle with our elephants. There's our beautiful swirl bundle, and I'm going to show you a technique with that in a minute. Then we've got our, what have they called it, shaped as suitcase, cogwheel, sailing boat and handyman bundle. Yeah, I'd have just said men's bundle, to be honest, but that's me. So that's just £18.50. Then you've got the frames that I was just using there. So in that, you're going to get the crocus, that beautiful dragonfly I've just done, the toadstool and the butterfly. They are so pretty. So that's $20.35 as opposed to at least $39.84. The fence is sold out. No, you can get the fence, sorry. You can get the handyman on its own. The ship has now sold out. You can get the cogs on their own. The waistcoat has sold out. The train has sold out. Moving on. So the swirl, you can get the Bambi. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised that dragonfly's gone on its own individually. But that's £5.40 on its own anyway. Oh, and the bumblebee's gone. Oh, that's a shame. You've still got a chance to get the hummingbird. You can get the snails. The daffodils has sold out and the tulips have sold out. So of the snowdrops, you can get the anemones, but the crocuses, which are only now available in the bundle, are available there. And onto the third page, the baby and baby's gone, but they've got the Christmas one. That looks lovely. I love mistletoe. That looks really nice. I call it twigs, but I call that mistletoe. But you've got the presents, so that there are so many different options there that you can get hold of. So have a look on the link and click onto there and have a look if there's something you want to do and just pick off. Very good. Emma says she's been very good and not buying. Emma says that, and then she spots something that she really, really likes, which is what I normally do, to be fair. I'm just about the same. So What are we going to move on to? So I said I'd do something, the suitcase. And I've got one kind of already done, but I wanted to show you. This is it cut blank. And so you think, oh, well, yeah. How do we get it to look so 3D when it's realistically quite a simple piece? And how do you get the different colours? Well, it's actually really, really easy to do this. So I've got myself here a piece of, this is from our canvas card. This is a light sort of biscuity colour. So I'm just going to cut a square of that. And what you want to do is take the main suitcase, yeah, tape it down, or put it down and just tape it down. And you want to cut this, but you don't want it to come out. You want it to stay in. Now, this die will fit through the mini machine. I should have grabbed mine. It's only behind me because it's easier to do. Let's just grab that because it's a lot easier, I find, to do in there. You see how heavily this... I think mine and Jane's plates got swapped at the last show. So I think I've got Jane's, which she's very heavily cut a lot of green on. But very shortly, we're going to have replacement of the base plates for you. We don't find that you need replacements of the cutting plates. That's the wrong plate. Is it? Or is that it? Oh, that's not even a plate. Yeah, I think I've got mine completely mixed up. And yeah, I have. I don't think this is the right plate because we took them to a workshop last week and I haven't used it since. No. So I'll need to find the right plate for that. So we'll go through with our normal machine. See, we all do it. We all make mistakes. I bet I've swapped them all over the place. So I'm just going to run it through and cut it with my Kaleido. And then we'll take that out. So leave it in place. Yeah, and you know my favourite way to make something 3D to alter colour is to either colour through the die or shade the piece. So I'm going to take one of my other 3 classic colours, vintage sepia. I always have a black, a grey and a sepia with me. So just going to take a little bit of vintage sepia onto my finger dauber and just colour around the edge of the die. Yeah. Makes so much easier with the magic mat. And then I'm just going to shade across the middle so it's darker on the edges. But already, as soon as I pop this out, you'll see we've got a 3D looking suitcase with the holes punched out. But it's already got that look. So I'm just going to take a little bit more, and as soon as you go around the edge as well, so as soon as you go around this edge, suddenly it makes sense. It's 3D'd even more. So you think it's really sort of joined together and it's not. So you can see this, the difference just by doing that. But what they've included, and this makes it all the world, is a strap and a handle. So what I've been doing is literally diving into my scrap bin and pulling out any old scrap of sort of card. So I want to cut, I want 2 of those and I want 1 handle. Now normally what I would do is I would say, oh, double your card up, but I want to colour through that bit. So I'm just going to tape that down, run that through and cut that. So there's my handle. This time I'm going to grab my black dauber and my black ink. Yeah. And I'm just going to add a little bit of darkness onto that handle in the air. And all you want to do, make sure it doesn't fall out because it's done that to me and I need to do this twice, is just put that into place and black through the die. And you'll see there, it puts you the buckle on. And just hold it in the air, age it with a little bit of black, and you'll see how suddenly that suitcase, I find it hilarious, it looks so much more realistic. So I'm just going to pop, I'm going to need to cut one more of those. Nice and simple. I really do need to find the right plate for my mini. Must have put it down somewhere, silly. That's me though anyway. So again, just take that out. There we go. Black. Intercolour that buckle. Take it off. And I found I'm using colours from our, I think it's called Autumn Browns. Question, says Margaret. I have the watercolour brush pens. I can see the ink inside. But how do I get ink down to the nib? Margaret, they normally free flow. But if you look near the barrel, if they're not flowing, you'll see there's a little bit that says push on it. Just squeeze that. Just hold them down and squeeze where it says push, and it will actually get the ink down. Now, if you've actually nones coming out, check there's not got the green safety cap on them. So let me finish this and I'll see if I can find one with a cap on. But you need to take that safety cap off. So all I'm going to do now is take again some of my glue glaze. Easiest thing ever for gluing things together this way. And the same with my handle. But the handle, look, it's so well and cleverly designed. Putting the handle on, putting the straps on, suddenly turn it into the most amazing, realistic looking case. I'm going to hold this one forward so you can see it. But there, can you see? Look, how real does that look? To go from that, which is a shape, but I could never make that. I couldn't cut it on another machine. I couldn't do anything other than that. I think it is just so clever, the way that these work. And the way that it's simply in 3 bits, you can make a proper sort of attaché case type looking thing from nothing. Is so easy to do. Carol says she could love this case. Do you know, Carol, I could. And if you, the thing is as well, I mean, I've got here some of the tools cut. But you could, again, mix them together. So these have just been cut out of silver mirror card with the dies. But look, if I can show you that, I'm going to show you this forward on, look. It's got all of the lines in it and everything you'd have in a wrench. I think that's called a wrench. I'm not very good. But you could, you can add your tools in. That's why it was such a clever bundle. So if I take the frame, I've got the cogs frame here, but again, they will work together. And one of the best ways, I've cut this in white. One of the best ways to do this is take, so I've got daubers out, obviously in grey, black and brown. Yeah, so I'm just going to take that. So just using what's left on the dauber. Now, this is one of my sort of little tricks, is when I want to make things look metallic, I always add a little bit of green in, because green makes it look as if it's gone a bit rusty. So let's take a little bit of green and work a little bit of green in. So we've still got, I don't know if it's going to fit on our 6x4. It is. So can you see there? A little bit of spray glue on the back. Just kind of offset. Let's see, whatever I've got birthday wishes on my precision press. So let's just put birthday wishes on. Yeah, nice and simple. Take our suitcase, little bit of glue gel on the back. So much easier since I started using the 3D glue gel than foam tape for everything. Certainly when I'm doing smaller pieces like this. So let's just pop our case on. Use our little bit of our glue glows. A couple of our tools. So simple. Just using pieces from those almost like bits left over. So again, this is using our 4x6, so we're using our other piece of black here, putting it onto there. We go. But then we have the perfect sort of, you know, almost a teen card, you know, a mail card. It could be for absolutely anything. I mean, I would literally be making the suitcases for absolutely anyone. If you manage to get the pieces we had the other week with the perfume bottles and the lipsticks, they'll match so well in with that, because you could do so much, you know, mixing these little character things together. I want to put an elephant on it as well now, and I haven't got one done. I want to pull one of the elephants off and put him on. But you can see how simply and easily, with no skill, we've just cut out the frame. We can make that, but how easy that actual suitcase is. So I'm going to try and do one more very, very quickly, because I've already cut the bits out for this. And I thought he's so cute. I think I'm not going to have enough time to do him, but I'll tell you what I have got. Where did I put that one? I wanted to show you how I did this background. So I've used so many dies this week. I've literally absolutely loved it. That was it, this one. I thought this was just such a beautiful, so this is Swirls and Leaves. So this comes in from that, I think it's £12.95 bundle of just the swirls. But I think it's so clever. What Nick thinking haberdashery will work well with the new dies, me hopes. Oh, they will. Oh yeah, it would work really well with haberdashery, wouldn't it? So I'm going to get some green, because we're always colouring white onto sort of, I can never think of the right colour. We're always colouring white or colouring onto white. So I've got here a little bit of sort of the moss coloured card, which is perfect. So I'm just going to tape him down. I'm going to be really quick, I promise, because we are running out of time. So remember, there are 4 bundles tonight, plus a host of individuals. So click on one of the links to the Art of Craft, have a look and visit, and see if there's something that you fancy and popping into your basket. And as I say, it's free P&P over £20, but only £3.49 under that. But if you're near 20, add something in, honestly, because you might as well have something almost for free. So what I'm going to do is just hold that in place, again using the magic mat. Take a dauber, and this time I'm using Green Oasis, and I'm just going to colour through, because the idea was I was going to do my owl on top of this, but I know I'm going to run out of time, says John looking at the clock. But look, straight away how delicate that is. It's one of these that I wish I'd have designed it, because I'd have gone mad using it for Christmas. And just hold it in the air and just add little bits of green on to give it two-tone. It 3Ds doing something like this. And don't think, oh, you can only colour on white. You can colour on all the other colours. That's what I love about the canvas card, because it takes ink just as well as you know, as normal as a stamping card would. So let's just get these little bits out. There we go. Other one there. So just to show you on a white piece how beautiful that is. And I was going to put one of my owls on, but I've got all the bits cut out. But we'll just put the sunglasses on, and it can be a mystery. But it's something to do that works so well. It really, really is something that works really well. So thank you for joining me tonight. So remember, we have had the $12.99 bundle, which is a wonderful Swirls collection, 4 die sets. We've had the 3 animals, which are just £15, which has that beautiful owl, the elephant, and the giraffe. I didn't show you the giraffe. Oh, I'll try and see if I can do a quick video for it next week, because I'm out tomorrow at Bolton, because I wanted to show you the giraffe. We had the brilliant men's collection, which is £18.50, and then those 4 beautiful frames at just £20.35. So, you know, hopefully that will work for everyone. So what are we doing? What are we saying? So remember, I'm not back tomorrow night on the craft store. That is now on Monday night at 6. So I hope you can join me on Monday night at 6 for a brand new launch, for a brand new, looking at it now, Crafts 2 tool. You know how we do with our tools. You know how brilliant they are. This one's one I've wanted for a long time. And there's some great offers and things on that show as well. So that's Monday night, because tomorrow I'm going to be at Craftorama in Bolton. So if you can join me, that will be wonderful. It would be lovely to see you there. But I will put a post out later just to say that I'm at Craftorama Bolton, and that the Art of Craft are there. Obviously, they're the more important people. I'm just stood there chatting. But also that we will be back on Monday night on the craft store. And I should be back on Wednesday I've got some lovely stuff for Wednesday, I think. For midweek deals at 6 o'clock here on the Art of Craft. So it would be great. So an hour before Facebook Live, hour before Craft Cave Live's on Facebook. So it would be brilliant if you can join me, because you might as well get the extra hour if you can. But if not, I will see you all tomorrow. Ooh, I'm doing well for time for once. I will see you all tomorrow at Bolton. If not, I will hopefully see you all on the craft store on Monday. And remember, anything that I've used tonight, anything that you fancy, or anything that you've got from nearly every supplier, because we stock nearly everybody, all available from the website above me, which is the Art of Craft. So easy to go, and free P&P over £20. So thanks for joining me, guys, and I will hopefully see